Can hardly believe it, but in 2 days we celebrate being on the road for 1 month. 1 month of pod life. Like, where did the time go? I feel like this happened in the drop too when we took off for our summer adventure in Colorado. It was like the first 30 days just blinked and we were done already. Like, we were done with the first month and I only had a month and a half left. It was wild. And I feel like this was the same. Like, I can't believe it's already been a month. So today we are gonna slow down and we are going to celebrate in the best way that I know how, and that is to find a ghost town. So even though I'm an Arizona girl, there's still a lot of Arizona desert that I have not explored, and today we're going to go check out a ghost town. We're going to go play in the desert a little bit, and then we're going to come back, relax, and celebrate with a fancy schmancy drink.
Walking down the road, I'm trying to post up, find a place to sit. Watch the people as they go by, so make me laugh.
We are located about 8 miles outside of the town of Congress, Arizona. Now, I have spent some time in Congress, and I've spent some time just north of Congress, and I always thought it was just wide open desert ranch land, which is some of my favorite if you didn't know. But a little Google and a little Google earthing, and I found out that this is actually gold country. So this area was known for gold mining in the late 1800s, and believe it or not, there is still some gold mining that is happening today. Just not the boom towns of the 1800s. So today we are checking out Stanton, and we might pop over to Octave, but I've heard that is on private land, so we'll see if we can get there. But the quirky thing about Stanton is it's an RV park. Yeah, it's a legit RV park, although it's pretty cool because as we drove by, I noticed people have prospecting gear out. So they legit are still prospecting in them hills. There's gold in them hills, people. Sorry, I couldn't resist. So we parked a little bit outside of Stanton, and we're gonna walk in because Sweeney likes to make an entrance, and people might still be sleeping, or it just might be, it's quiet. We don't really need to make an entrance. By making an entrance, I mean he screams and barks until I let him out of the car. It's fun. So let's walk on down to Stanton. This little kid's dismay, he has to wear his booties on the front. He ripped some skin off. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Phoenix. Okay, I'm gonna have to readjust it though. These are dog mocks, and if you have a crazy breed like mine, they work so well. They don't come off. And they really do protect really well. We're gonna leave his back open because it's just his front, but he's not happy with me. He has to wear his socks in the house. See, there you go. Socks in the house, and I have to clean his little tootsies and put stuff on him. But you're such a good kid. Good boy. All right, let's go adventure. Hold on. Mommy got you all messed up. There you go. If you followed my Colorado adventures, you will know I get very, very excited for tailings piles. And it is actually very rare to see them in Arizona. One, I think they just blend in more because everything's brown, but there are definitely a few in these mountains. And I just got so excited and so stoked. I miss Silverton like you can't even imagine. And just this makes me feel a little bit like I'm home. I know Arizona's my home. I know. But Silverton will be one day. Hey, kid. Your little booties. Lead the way. This way. You gotta lead this way, though. So that road we just passed looks like it might be one of the roads that these people do mine up in, because it has a lot of little offshoots that head towards the tailing piles or just towards very rocky, cavernous areas. So I bet that's why the campground is so popular for prospectors. Because yeah, that definitely looks like it would be fun to just climb up there and explore. Not going to do that today, but definitely adding it to my list to do in the future is spend a day climbing that mountain, because yeah, that's definitely, well, it's mining territory for sure. Once known as Antelope Station, Stanton experienced gold rush fever in 1863 in the form of a gold strike. What was once a stage stop transformed overnight into a western boomtown thanks to its rather large deposits of gold. Legend has it that when a prospector left his group to go round up some mules on a nearby hill, he literally stumbled on gold nuggets. Why can't that happen to me? Lying right atop the soil. The subsequent strike on the aptly named Rich Hill allowed the group to dig up $100,000 of gold in less than 6 months. This motherlode is how Antelope Station was born. It didn't take long for Charles P. Stanton to transform the town when he entered in 1871. Not only did this soon-to-be town boss change the name to suit himself, he took on various roles such as postmaster, deputy, and justice of the peace. However, history does not paint a kindly picture of this man of many hats. Apparently, Mr. Stanton had some persuasive friends that allowed him to quietly take over the town. This band of thugs helped him stage various dirty deals that landed him a rather poor reputation, even by old Western standards. Stanton's hold on the town ended in 1886 when he was shot to death in his own store by a man claiming to be avenging an insult. Nevertheless, by the 1890s, Stanton was a legitimate community filled with miners, their families, a general store, a stamp mill, a hotel, a boarding house, and several other buildings. Unfortunately, the town declined and eventually died out when the gold dried up. And today is part of an RV park, but still retains its ghostly allure for travelers in search of an authentic ghost town experience. That was so much cooler than I could have ever imagined. I will be jonesing, seriously jonesing about that for a long time. So Stanton is currently owned by the LDMA, which is the Lost Dutchman Mining Association, and it is a working prospecting camp. So if you've heard Arizona lore, you'll have heard of the Lost Dutchman Mine and the Lost Dutchman Gold, and so that's where the Lost Dutchman Mining Association gets its name. We are completely in another area, but I still think it's cool to have that nod to that history as well. But what I found so cool was just that town is living its history just in a modern way. So back in the day, you would have had your Charles P. Stanton, who would have been wealthy, and he would have had his fancy house and all the trappings that come with being wealthy and being a miner. And then you would have had your newbies or your weekend warriors or your down on their luckers that would have been cowboy camping or in tents. And that mix is still there. It's still there. You have your $500,000 rigs and fancy equipment with F-350s and side-by-sides. And then you have your people that are just there in tents with their trucks, maybe looking for the weekend. And everybody was so kind. I felt kind of awkward because like I'm walking around with a tripod, you know? And everybody who saw us waved, said hi. They were all talking to each other, wishing each other good luck, talking about their claims, talking about their panning. It was just so cool. And I will literally be jonesing for a long time on that because that was way cooler than I actually thought it was gonna be. So I did run into a prospector and chit-chatted with him for a little bit, and he said that Octave is on private land, but he thought it was so cool that a young lady like me was interested in mining history. So he's like, totally go down, you can see the sign, you can see some buildings, it's totally worth it. He's like, but it's not like Stanton. So we're gonna head back to the truck and head on over to Octave. He's always so confused when we walk back to get you. There you go. We made it to Octave, y'all. There are some like slabs, but that's about it. I did see some abandoned buildings a little bit down the road. It's a beautiful drive back here. There's a bunch of mining claims tucked up into these hills, but a lot of this is private land, so I think we're just gonna flip around and head back to town and maybe check out those abandoned buildings we saw just on the road. So the razors were still at that little house that we passed, so we didn't stop because they were kind of blocking the entrance in, and I definitely didn't want to park on the road and block this road. It seems like a very busy road, and everybody has mining equipment with them, so it's pretty cool to see them driving down. Like right now, I'm getting ready to pass somebody with all of their mining equipment. So I just didn't want to block the road. But this is really cool. This drive alone makes me feel so much like I am back in Colorado, because just everywhere you look, there's tailings piles and there's mining claims, and it's just very different. You know, it's that Wild West feel, the wide open expanse of desert, instead of looking through, you know, tailings piles through trees. I'm just trying to find where they don't match the dirt exactly. So like even right down here, we're passing Antelope River. And it looks like somebody has some mining equipment down there. So this is a really cool area. There's some mining shacks just dotted up on the hills, just old metal structures. So highly recommend this drive. This is really cool. I'll put the drive deets down below, because I definitely think if you're into mining history and into just really cool drives, this is one for you. So, all right, as much fun as this has been, and I honestly almost was gonna go visit another mining area. It is about noon, and I need to do some nomad errands. So where I am located, I am about an hour from civilization, and I need groceries. So we're gonna drive the hour to get our groceries, but we'll catch you guys a little bit later when we get back to camp. I think I might have gone a little overboard on groceries. Shopped hungry. Don't ever shop hungry. But weirdly, that drive went so much quicker. I don't know if any of y'all are like me, and if it's wide open roads, no traffic, and super pretty, an hour goes so quick. But an hour in city traffic drives me bonkers. So we're back. I'm gonna put all these groceries away, and it's still pretty early in the day, so I think I'm just gonna relax and read a book. I do need to hook the water back up. I unhooked it last night because we had a freeze. So hook the water back up and just might lay down and read a book once I put all of this away. Oh, do you want in? Do you want to come up on the bed and cuddle? Come on. Come. Want your booty on? Hey, give me a booty. This booty. Oh, this one got tied. Tight. Hold on. Go. I gotta have the booty so I can get it off. It got tied to, got in a knot. Got a knot. Oh, there we go. Oh, free. Wow. Free Tootsie. Now can I have my spot back? Can I have my spot back? No? Is this your spot? It's okay. But I really would have liked to wipe you off before you laid on my pillows. That would have been great. Good thing I'm changing these out tomorrow. Because they're dirty. Because you're dirty. Alright, can I read now? I'm just gonna scooch in here. Just gonna scooch in here. What should I read? Let's see. What is in the Kindle library for me? Put a comment down below if you think you know what I read. That should have given you a hint. No, it's not about mines. I like to celebrate any special occasion or any day or just anything with a fancy beverage. And if you've been around here long enough, you know my beverage of choice generally includes bourbon or some sort of rum, specifically coconut. But I am doing 75 hard, which is a mental toughness challenge, but it includes 75 days of no drinking. So I'm doing like dry January times 2. But that does not mean that we cannot have fancy beverages. So we are going to make a mocktail. Now, it has been very, very cold here. If you followed along on Instagram, you will know I haven't had heat for 2 weeks. I just got heat last night. So I've been very cold. So you would have thought that I would have crafted a warm mocktail, but no. I wanted to go to the beach. So we are going to the beach. We are going to the beach with this mocktail. So let's dive in with my fancy schmancy orange Yeti cup that my bestie got me. If y'all didn't know, my favorite color is orange. All right. So in the Yeti, we're going to put a little mango nectar. I like these. You can just get these cans. They're like 79 cents at the grocery store. Super cheap. Just a little bit of mango nectar. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a couple leaves of mint in here. And I didn't put much mango nectar in. I used to have like a little jigger thingy, but I don't. So we're just gonna smush that mint to get it nice and crushed in there. Okay. Get that in there. Nice. And we're gonna take a lime. So not the juiciest of the limes. There she goes. I personally like quite a bit of lime. I'm a lime connoisseur. Okay, and then we've got some coconut LaCroix. Top that off. Give her a stir. And cheers. We have a coconut mango mojito. Delicious. Oh, that hits the spot. If you would like to make a cocktail out of this, just add coconut rum. Duh. But now that we have our fancy beverage in hand, we are going to head on over to one of our favorite places to spend our evenings. Now, usually the Arizona skies have been popping off, but we've had no sun today. Like, it has just been a hazy, cloudy day. So we will see what we get, but you really can't go wrong with a dirt road walk, fancy beverage, and Feeny.
You are my favorite place to go. You're at the end of my favorite road. Above the rest, you're the best I know. You are my favorite
shade of rose, a flower bed on my favorite stones. I love the ground where your roots have grown. You're my favorite place. You are my favorite kind of glow.
So we are going to just walk and talk here while we enjoy this beautiful ranch land and these wide open spaces, and share my takeaways or just how I'm feeling after month 1 in the pod. So one thing that Teardrop Life taught me was it is what it is, how to roll with the punches. And that is definitely something that I took into this first month. Like I said at the intro, like it feels like a blur. There were a lot of really high highs and really low lows. You know, the highs of hitching up and towing the first time, but the low was that I was so physically exhausted that day from moving that it was just like everything I had to make that happen. And that first place that I stayed was like, I don't even remember it. I'm pretty sure I just blacked out that week. And then we got the solar installed and there were highs and lows with that. And then the heat, there's definitely a lot of lows with not having heat when it's 27 degrees out. But I was just able to roll with it. You know, when you're living in a house and your heat goes out, it is like the end of the world. And you will go stay at a hotel, at least I would, if I didn't have heat for one night. But I didn't have heat. My house was 38 degrees in the morning and I was just thriving still. I was cold, but I was just thriving. And that just, it's so funny. On the road, it's your necessities that you're stressed about and fighting for, and yet it feels less stressful. I used to get stressed out if I had to go get laundry detergent in the middle of the week, but here, if I had to run 2 hours to get a Mr. Heater, like a Mr. Buddy, I would have, like with no problem. And I think it's just because the payoffs of doing stuff like this, of having the day I had, of getting to park in a new neighborhood and figure it out and explore it, and to touch land that you've never touched before, to be outside as much as humanly possible, and of course to make your dog so damn happy. This dog is, Fiends is just thriving. He sleeps so well. We get so many exercises, so many walks in and movement in, and he's just grounded in the earth all day. And, you know, with his sarcoma and his PPDH, like, I'm just trying to give him everything I can while I have him. And this makes him happy, and it makes me happy. So I'm very much looking forward to this next month. And I hope I remember it a little bit more, and I hope I don't black out at times from stress. But, you know, a lot of that was also just moving out of a house. So it was just a lot. And, you know, I highly recommend doing a shakeout and not your shakeout being your life. But it is what it is, and I had to do it, and it's worth it. It is so worth it. So I am going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful evening with my Bubba Boo here, follow him through the desert because he is a desert dog and I'm a desert girl, and we love this life. And we will see you guys on the next adventure, wherever the road takes us.